Starting at a new school is difficult for a lot of kids, but it was even harder with the loss a little girl was carrying with her until her principal stepped in.
It's just amazing. It's amazing.
We thought today would be a good day to talk about gender stereotypes and the numbers that make you pause when you hear who kids think should be scientists. They couldn't even be bothered to be discreet about it. Neither was a woman when she went to Parks and Wildlife and said, hey, find these guys. And documenting the state's history by reaching out to underrepresented communities to complete the story of We Are Colorado. That's next. She is safe, and that is what matters. Aurora police say 10-year-old Daniela Ruana Morales left her home yesterday morning. That's near the intersection of Elmira Street and Montview Boulevard in Aurora. This afternoon, Daniela was found by a distant relative around 3 miles away in a neighborhood near 6th Avenue in Peoria. Aurora police say they still don't know how she got to that area and are still investigating. It is never easy to lose someone you love, and a 9-year-old in Lakewood is learning that after her dad took his own life a couple of months ago. She and her mom have only lived in Colorado a few months. They moved from Panama, where her dad was. This little girl doesn't know a lot of people here yet, and her mom said that she stopped wanting to go to school until she got help from an unlikely hero.
My 9-year-old daughter was best friends with my husband. I mean, if there was ever an amazing father-daughter relationship, it was them. What 9-year-old kid wants to tell everybody that her father committed suicide, you know? So I called the school and I wanted to make an appointment with the counselor because she just doesn't want to go to school anymore. It's been like a week. And they say, hey, the principal, Mr. Ryan Lucas, said he could come pick her up from your house. And I'm like, really?
I think she was surprised that I was there. Mom had told her I was coming, but I don't think it really meant anything to her until here's her principal standing at her door saying, hey, let's go to school.
And her little face just like lit up. And just because it's such a special, unique thing that nobody really does for you on a normal basis, you know?
We talked all the way to school about what she liked about her old school, what she liked about her new school, and you don't know. You don't know if you're saying the right thing. You don't know, but you know you're saying something. So at least that's something, right?
And I heard from the office that she walked in bouncing, feeling happy, acting normal again. It's just amazing. It's amazing.
She's been through a trauma that I can't imagine, and we need to take care of her.
Kind of puts him on the hero category. You know what I'm saying? Just a little bit.
So I think it's about being a good neighbor, right? Taking care of one another.
It's a service, you know, to be human for other humans. Does it make sense? I don't know.
It definitely does. Ryan Lucas is the principal at Governor's Ranch Elementary School in Littleton. He says he's going to be keeping a close eye on this student, just as he would with anyone else who may need it. So what Maria did today is taking so much strength that you don't see a lot of people be this open. But maybe we need to learn to be a little bit more like her. So if you're worried that if you talk about this, I'm planning an idea with someone, you're not alone, but also know that the answer is no, you're not. That goes for talking to kids as well. We talked with a child psychologist who said that a lot of times children just want to talk to someone, and it's okay to check in with them very young. We're talking as young as 5. That can also feel very uncomfortable, but it's important that we start getting over this fear so we're there to listen when someone is ready to speak. Today's meeting was supposed to be focused on aging in Colorado. That's an important topic, except that people weren't really interested about it because they were way too sidetracked asking Governor John Hickenlooper about his new leadership pack, and the big question that goes with it, is he running for president?
It just means I'm exploring it, which I've been doing for the last several months anyway. This allows me the ability, a certain amount of freedom. I can gather more information. I can go around the country. I can support candidates in other states.
So no one really seemed to mind that the focus was on Governor Hickenlooper's future. It was to the point that Colorado Springs Mayor John Suthers went to the podium just to declare that he would not be his running mate. So it's good to clarify that now. We'll figure out if the governor's running later on. All right, Airbnbers, hold on to your house keys. Go find your licenses. There's a bill being drafted that could hike up your taxes. Renting your place out can be a nice side gig, and now the state is saying, what about me? A bill is in the works that would reclassify short-term rentals from residential to non-residential, so tax rates would go from 7.2% to 29% in Colorado, the same as hotels and motels. How much that adds up to, though, depends on the county and its taxes. The name of the state committee tackling this is almost as complicated as the issue itself, but in 2 weeks they're going to be deciding if they like this bill or not. There's already some concern, though, that some people may not pay for short-term rental licenses if they have to pay more taxes. So Denver is one of those places where people do need to have the right licenses to rent out their places short-term. Since just May 11th of this year, cities already sent out notice violations to 686 people. History Colorado wants to hear your story, like Angel Vihel, who gives tours at the museum. His family has been in Colorado for 4 generations. Today, he gave us a tour, a personal one, of his family story.
I want to encourage people to believe in the power of their own personal story, to believe in the power of their family story, and share it. There used to be families here. There are multi-generational families that for decades and decades and decades lived in this powerful Auraria community. But I always like and enjoy the story of the people who are not regularly represented in the people that tell the stories of history. They live lives as dramatic, as full, as powerful, as impactful as the people that actually get written up in the history books. Part of the history I like to tell is my own personal history. 100 years ago, my grandparents walked these streets. 100 years later, their grandson, me, I walk these streets again, telling the story, their love story. They were literally exiled from Albuquerque because he was Hispanic. She was Rossi Mercurio, Italian, Old World Hispanic. Neither family approved of them falling in love. So they were literally exiled to Denver. This was an Hispanic community in those days, so this, of course, is where they came. I don't worry about my grandparents' story being lost because it is lost. No one knows they lived here. No one knows that they were ever here. Only I know, only I remember them. And by sharing their story, our understanding of history will be richer and deeper, but our enjoyment of history will be richer and deeper by learning about the stories of a much wider and diverse group of people.
History Colorado's goal with We Are Colorado is to reach underrepresented communities and provide a platform for people to reach back out and share their stories, which you can do on History Colorado's website. All you got to do is just click on Get Involved. That time of evening, time for another friendly lesson at That's Not How You Colorado. I mean, just take a look at this. Come on, they're not even trying to hide themselves. And guess what? A woman named Amy caught these 2 guys turning the cliffs of Castlewood Canyon State Park into their makeshift art project this month. She snapped a photo, sent it right over to the Colorado Parks and Wildlife. The Castlewood Canyon State Park manager says they've cleaned the area up and increased patrols. Still don't know who these people are. It doesn't erase that it's just rude and disrespectful. Colorado Parks and Wildlife did, however, give Amy the Citizen Stewardship Award yesterday for flagging this and reporting it. So, just in case you haven't noticed, I'm not Kyle Clark. He's enjoying some well-deserved time off. We've also heard from a lot of you guys over the years, like, what's the deal? Where are the women on this show? Well, it's about time. The most Colorado thing we saw today, a whole bunch of donkeys out for a run. We're finally in for a cool down. Tomorrow, we'll hopefully break our stretch of 90-degree days. And our next question is about the differences in the colors of leaves as they turn for the fall. That's next. The most Colorado thing we saw today, you know, people in Frederick, Colorado out for a run with donkeys. Kitty DeLeon saw these people walking and jogging with their donkeys. Not a normal workout, but hey, I mean, we're doing yoga with goats now, so why not, right? Kitty did some research, and her guess is all of these donkeys were a part of a race that was held in Frederick Saturday. And I mean, hey, a race is a race. You got to still warm up, and training is very important.
That might be my favorite story today. The other story that's pretty awesome is we are done with the 90s. Who's ready? Yes, I can hear you. It's fall. Where is the rain? Where is the cooler weather? Well, it's coming. Still dealing tonight with remnants of Florence. The rain extending from Raleigh and Washington into New York and Washington. Isolated tornadoes possible there. But for us, it's all about the heat. 91 today. We just missed a record of 93, but we have had 5 days in the last 8 where we have tied or broken a record, and we should be in the mid-70s this time of year. Oh, but that weather's coming. High pressure is breaking down. Trough of low pressure to the north of us, and that cool air is going to spill on in here. And by this time tomorrow night, some areas might be hearing a rumble of thunder, a little bit of rain shower activity. Look at the moisture coming in from the southwest, at least in the mountains and out across the western slope. Good chance of showers late in the day tomorrow, and the beginning of a cooling trend that'll get us right into the upcoming weekend. And so as we move through tonight, can't buy a raindrop tonight, but it will be coming tomorrow. 59, partly cloudy. Tomorrow, mid-80s, a late day shower or thunderstorm. A nice, comfortable forecast for Thursday. How about Friday's high, 76? Hello, fall on Saturday, autumnal equinox, the kickoff of the new season, and a good chance of rain and maybe some foothill snow on Tuesday. That's right. It's looking a little colder next week, so now's the time to get up and enjoy the wonderful leaves that are changing. Where to go, when to go, everything you need on 9news.com.
Our next question comes from a viewer named Mary Ann. Any idea why there's so much orange and red in the aspens? Seems like there's more every year. Hey, Marianne, so we decided to ask CSU. That answer circles around to what feels like that non-existent cool down so far for this time of year. Chlorophyll is the pigment that makes leaves green, so when temperatures drop and it's dry, those leaves start to produce more anthocyanin. Translate that into words that we actually understand, and we're just talking about those red and orange colors that we see. The experts at CSU said that they haven't noticed more red and orange leaves, but they also said that, honestly, they're just confined to their offices for most of the day. A high school counselor is recognized across the state for all of her work to improve the lives of the kids she serves. Hold on, don't change the channel. Just sit back, relax, watch next. We'll let you know what's going on Jeopardy right now. And Dr. Max and Steve have a conversation about how stereotypes behind female scientists are changing slowly but surely. That's next. High school is a big transition time. It's when students start facing some pretty daunting questions about their future. That's a lot of pressure. And some kids, they struggle with issues like anxiety or depression. Our Byron Reed shows us how a counselor in Greeley is trying to help students tackle their issues so they're achieving what they want to achieve.
How are you guys doing?
Bethany Balderrama has a lot to smile about these days. She's been following her passion for the past 9 years.
I love Northridge. Everybody's so great. We're like a big family here. All right, well, I'm going to check in with Annie.
Balderrama is a school counselor for Northridge High School in Greeley, and she's part of a team of crisis and mental health professionals, all trying to help students get through high school.
And they're becoming young adults, so helping them through that is challenging. I'm not here to rescue them. Right? I'm here to teach them how to rescue themselves. So I hope that they're empowered to do that.
And for her efforts,
I was very shocked.
Bethany was recognized.
I was surprised in a meeting that I had won the Colorado High School Counselor of the Year.
An award given by the Colorado School Counselor Association for her work at the high school level.
There's so many great counselors in Colorado, so I, began to wonder, like, why me? I don't do this alone. Like, my team is amazing, my staff is amazing, our community is so supportive. So feeling very honored and humbled. Thank you. Thank you.
Giving Balderrama a chance to spread a little joy and help students achieve their goals along the way.
I think the award is great and I'm so appreciative, but I think seeing the kids who have struggled in the past be successful, that's really where the prize comes from.
For next,
go to class, please.
I'm Byron Reed.
Balderrama says that she was inspired by her mom, who was a school counselor in Denver for more than 20 years. We know Jeopardy is on at the same time. We are DVR it like all the cool kids do now and plan on doing it the same thing for tomorrow so that you can catch this guy named Kyle Jones. He's a music teacher at Aurora Central High School and is a 4-night champion on Jeopardy as of last night. All the students, the staff, they're super excited about this. Kyle signed a contract, though, so he is not allowed to tell anyone how he's doing until his stint is over. He says he got hooked watching it with his mom growing up and hopes that he can use his earnings to pay off some student loans and to help out the kids in his music class. Dr. Max and Steve talking about stereotypes surrounding scientists and your feedback for my first time hosting Next. Oh yeah, we're opening that up. It's coming up next. Dr. Max and Steve are at it again, and we thought today would be a great day to talk about gender stereotypes. In science, ideas of who exactly a scientists have changed over the years, and while that's a great thing, we're not totally there yet.
Let's talk stereotypes about scientists. For a long time, if you asked a little kid to draw a scientist, they would not draw a woman.
They would not, and obviously this is a little girl, but yeah, like back in the 60s, you ask a group of kids, draw a scientist. About 1% of those kids would draw a woman. 99% men. That's kind of the stereotype, and that's something that a lot of schools are working really hard to change, and society in general. There's a huge push toward STEM and a huge push toward getting girls to be interested in STEM and thinking that it's a legitimate thing for girls to be able to do. Of course they can do it, but you have to get them interested, and you have to prove to the boys that girls can do it as well. Nowadays, it's more like 28 or 30% of young kids will draw a woman scientist, which is that's a huge increase. It could be better, but
still low, yeah.
But we're getting there. We're getting closer to 50-50. Now, the key is that once those young kids turn into teenagers and you ask them to draw a scientist, they go back to drawing men. So at some point, kids are getting it in their mind that men are scientists and women do other things. So we still have a ways to go, but we're moving in the right direction. What
do you think could change that stereotype? Is it just a matter of getting in their minds when they're younger?
I think it's getting it in their minds when they're younger, and then hitting them with it over and over and over again as they age, and as these younger generations of people get older, then it becomes more normal, and their kids see more women who are scientists, and then they're more likely to think of women as scientists along with men. So so it just becomes a more normal thing. But you got to hit people over the head with it.
All right, Dr. Max Wachtel, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
It's a sign, and it's a good one. Spotted by Next viewer Stan Bissell south of Franktown that says, "Slow down, senior citizen crossing and one old dog." Stan says he had to slow down because he just knew he had to take a picture of this. We'd love to know the story surrounding it or who the senior citizen and the old dog are. All right, we love hearing from you guys. And so far today, Josephine just asked, what do I feel about snow-covered patio furniture? I mean, it's fine, just don't take photos of it. Also, we heard from Rod Sanders. I think the show needs a woman's touch. Here's the great thing. It is an honor to be here tonight, but there was a lot of fearless leaders who are also women who have made the show what it is, and they have been behind the scenes this entire time. Next wouldn't be the same without them. Hey, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.